have our meeting. So welcome everyone. I'm super grateful to be practicing with all of you, everyone from a different part of the world, Australia and Bali and London and Paris, New York, Florida, and yeah, what an honor. Thank you so much. And this series is really special for me. I mean, the other ones as well, but this one we are dedicating the whole series for Yin Yoga. And as I have shared with you before, this is a practice that completely changed my life. Yoga in general have changed my life, but especially Yin has been very healing, and it still is, and it's I wouldn't say my main practice because I also have the Yang side of the practice that I do, but if before it was once a week, now it's even with my Yang practice. And the more I do, the more I like, the more I understand, and the more I want, to the point where I think I'm becoming too Yin. I don't even recognize myself anymore. But I like this new version, a little more gentle and not so reactive. And this is that Yin give us the opportunity to be present, the opportunity to be more mindful, less reactive, and also especially to release all the burden and all the stress and all the tension that we keep accumulating through our life. So during this series, we also have a little more time, 90 minutes practice, and we are going to be dedicating more time into pranayama practices and mindfulness practices, and a little more time for the whole yoga, also for meditation. And we are going to be holding poses for a little bit longer as well, as we have been practicing together for a month. Maybe this is your first series with me. We have been doing, this is the third series, and we have been practicing together for over a month. And if this is the first series, I would suggest that, especially for today, that you are gentle with your body, extra gentle with your body, and if you need to use more cushions and props and blocks, do that. In Yin, in this series, I would like also to practice more restorative, which means more cushions and more blocks, because we are working deeply into the parasympathetic nervous system. So the Yin practice work with gravity, and that sometimes can get quite intense, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. So in some of the practices during this series, we are going to be doing some restorative sessions, which is pretty much the same than the Yin practice, but with more cushions and supporting the body more with the props. Also, I would like to do poses if you have the chance. I will let you know when, but if you have the chance to practice on the wall, because there is some cool Yin poses that we can use the wall, and I would like to introduce that we have a little more time for the practice in this series. So today we are going to start laying down on our back, and we are going to be laying into the back, and the feet are separated towards each other and just resting the knees together. And your hands are going to be resting into your lower belly. Take a moment to find that position. If your legs don't feel very stable, you can separate your feet a little bit wider until you feel supported. and your hands can be sliding into the belly, and you can close your eyes. So just means feet flat on the mat, good, and knees together. And this is a very good way to also to meditate. Sometimes if sitting is too hard for the spine, you can be taking this position. And when the feet are flat on the mat, we have less, it's a little bit harder to fall asleep, let's say that. So if your knees are not touching, you can always like use a strap to bring your knees together, or you can keep your knees separate. And once you feel ready, close your eyes. And start noticing your breath. Taking this time to arrive. To arrive into this moment, to arrive into our body. So in this position, we can feel the feet flat on the mat, and that is the first connection with the earth into our physical body through the feet. The legs are completely relaxed. So we notice our buttocks resting into the floor. We feel the arch of the spine, the natural arch of the spine, the low back. And then again, the middle back and the upper back is resting into the earth. Allow your shoulders to be relaxed, dropping down into the earth. Your arms, your hands, and your fingers are relaxed. Your chest is relaxed, your collarbones. Also the back of the neck is long. Feeling the back of the head resting into the ground. Softening the face, softening the eyes. Softening the jaw. And bring your attention all the way down into the belly. Chinese medicine, we call this area the lower dantian. Another way to call it is the Hara center. Notice how the belly moves. During the inhalation, the belly is expanding like a balloon, filling up with air. Then the exhale, feel the belly falling down towards the spine, towards the earth. The inhale, feel your hands and your belly expanding, moving a little bit higher. And on the exhale, feel the belly moving down towards the earth. This is called the Yin breathing. We are activating the parasympathetic nervous system when we breathe through the belly, or the abdominal breathing. Bringing all our attention into this area in the body, feeling into this area. Imagine that you have an egg shape below the navel. And get inside this area, noticing how this area feels. Noticing if there is any tension, any tightness. Does it feel warm? Does it feel cold? Maybe after a while, you start feeling that the sensations into this area start changing. We rest all our attention into this area. Things might start happening. We are bringing our attention here. We allow that the energy start moving through this area, stimulating this area energetically. We're simply bringing our attention here. And also we are adding the feeling of the hands resting into the belly. There is a physical sensations as well. And the energetic sensations that you might be feeling, the emotions also. We're going to take a few more minutes here, just simply grounding into your belly. All your attention is into your belly area. And sometimes when we are in situations of stress, anxiety, or when we are too many things up in our heads, stress can move into the belly, can get stuck into the belly. The practicing conscious breathing, practicing belly breathing, you can release this tension, this stress that accumulates in the body in forms of tension, in forms of tightness. And cultivating mindfulness into our lower bellies, noticing how it feels. And keep dropping tension down to the earth. Just letting go of stress, worries, things we have to do after this class. We can let them go for these 90 minutes. We can come back to that later. As we commit to be fully present for ourselves. Giving yourself this time for self-care. Good, and bring your hands a little bit higher into your chest, into your rib cage, and continue with the breathing, the deep, long breathing. And now feel that the ribs expand during the inhalation, and feel how the ribs move slightly in towards the spine on the exhalation. So feel the expansion of the lungs. During the inhalation, feel how the lungs get empty on the exhalation. So continue with this breath. We are not changing the way we're breathing. You're noticing the movement of the lungs, how they expand, how they contract in each inhale and exhale. Maybe from time to time you notice the breath change. All of a sudden you take a longer breath, a shorter breath, and then you come back to your normal breathing again. This is the breath we're going to be using for the entire practice, the conscious breathing. Belly breathing, abdominal breathing. Last minute here. Giving yourself this opportunity to take long, full, deep breaths using your whole lung capacity. Sometimes when we are in situations of stress, trying to get things done, we shorten the breath. We're in that fight and flight response, and if we say that we have a number of breaths, limited amount of breath through our life, we start becoming a little more mindful with our breathing, taking longer breaths, because it will affect all the bodies into our being, physically, emotionally, mentally, and energetically. We will be affected by the breath. So once you feel ready, you can bring your hands one on the top of the other into your heart. And taking a moment to set an intention for today's practice, maybe for this series, this Yin Healing series. Think about your intention for today's practice. We are working with the stress, how to deal with those moments of intensity or difficulty or challenging. And still stay into our heart, still stay into our center. We can face them with clarity, with strength, with an open heart. So set your personal intention for today's practice. And in this way, we keep coming back into our intention whenever the mind gets distracted. It's going to give us the focus, the attention, the power to stay present. And once you feel ready, you can bring the knees slightly towards the chest and hug your knees. And roll side to side very gently. Massaging the spine, massaging the low back. And on the exhale, release your arms and your legs to the side into a fetal position. And slowly coming up. And we're going to move into the first yin pose of the practice. It's called caterpillar pose. If you have lower back tightness or if you have sciatica, I would suggest to use a cushion under your buttocks. And also, if you have very, very tight hamstrings, I would suggest to bend the knees. You can also bring a blanket. If you don't have a blanket, maybe a towel. If you don't have a towel, maybe the cushion. And in yin, it's okay that we round the spine. So here, we're going to be working with different target areas. The back of the legs, the hamstring, also the spine. So you can stay here and little by little start going deeper. I like to use a block to support my forehead, but if you don't want to go that deep, you can rest your elbows into your legs or into the block and support your forehead with your hands. So in Yin, the first principle is to find the first resistance in our body, the first edge. And once you find that, you can meet the stillness. And once you are in that first edge, we allow the gravity to do the work. Simply resting our bodies into the posters, the blocks, and coming into stillness. So noticing if you are still breathing deeply or if you are shortening the breath. Noticing how is your breath in this moment. So practicing belly breathing during this whole practice, and this is a breath that you can use all the time during a Yin practice, but especially for today's practice, as we are working, dealing with those times that are challenging in our life or stressful, when we are facing anxiety. By taking longer breaths, deeper breaths, things start slowing down. We can face this challenge in a new way without moving into fear and blocking our system, contracting our system, as we might do sometimes, or pushing things away as we don't want to face that, we don't want to feel that. So everyone has a different mechanism that we take in the face of difficulty, of fear, of danger. But notice the resistance that you might have by simply feeling into your body, feeling what is happening inside, the tendencies that the mind may have to move, to go from one thing to another, to go to the past, to go to the future. Or also we notice the emotion might change. And the beauty of this practice, the healing properties of this practice for me personally, is to find that stillness. As we don't have this opportunity in a day-to-day life. Maybe we did now during the corona, but even during this isolation time, we're still busy, we're still doing, we're still doing all the time. And the beauty of the Yin practice is that we allow ourselves to simply be. We allow the gravity to do the work, to take us deeper whenever our body feels ready for it, and that we can let go and relax. And for me, the most profound practices have been the ones that they're not very complicated. They're actually very simple. But it's in that simplicity where I grow the most, where I find the biggest aha moments for myself, and how something so simple can teach us so much. So see how it is for you. What is this aspect of yin that is healing for you? What is the gift of this practice for you? And in the next inhale, very slowly, start lifting the chest, taking your time, no rush, making the transition slowly. Lifting up and bringing your hands behind your buttocks, taking your time, lying down into our backs. And this is the time that we take to release the pose, to find our rebound. You're going to stay here not too long, 30 seconds, 1 minute. This is the time where we get to feel the effects of the previous pose. You're welcome to wiggle your legs, your hips, your arms. You're welcome to move in any direction to allow the energy to flow through your body again, through your system, so you can cultivate stillness. Once you feel ready, knees to chest, and roll your body to the side, slowly coming up. Moving into the next pose, child's pose. In child's pose, I suggest that if your mat is very thin, or if you have sensitive knees, that you use the cushions to support your knees, or to use the blankets to support your knees. Also, if you have sensitive ankles, you can also use the cushions to support. And the yin version will be where you rest your chest, your arms down. The more restrictive version will be when you rest the cushion or the pillows under your chest. And because we want to allow the body to feel safe and secure, you can maybe use them the first minute or two, and if you want to go deeper, you can release them. You can also support your head with a cushion, or you can do without the cushion. And closing the eyes as we want to practice the principle of pratyahara, the withdrawing of the senses. By closing the eyes, tuning in. If the shoulders feel very tight, open your arms a little bit wider. As we want to allow the shoulders to be relaxed. And the low back and the hips and the pelvis is relaxed. The tailbone relaxed. The legs are relaxed. Feeling into your breath. Are you still breathing deeply, or you are sorted in the breath already? Maybe if you are thinking about the future, increases stress in the system, and we start sorting the breath. Take a long, deep full breath. How much you can relax into this moment. investing in rest, investing in ourselves, cultivating presence, and noticing what is happening inside. So mindfulness means to notice this moment-to-moment experience, tracking the sensations throughout the body, and allowing the breath to be your anchor throughout the practice. In the end, these things matter the most. How well did we love? How fully did we live? How deeply did you let go? There's a quote from Buddha. So there's a time during this yin practice, we have the chance to let go. In the first thing that we need to let go of is the tension, by softening into our bodies. And sometimes we are not aware of the tension that we accumulate in our body until we actually get inside of our body, feel into our bodies, and notice where is the tightness. And how we can release that tightness by getting inside of that area, breathing through the area, and start softening the tightness, the tension. And the body always knows. So the body says what words cannot. So if we can be connected with our bodies, can listen to the wisdom of our bodies, it will always guide us. In this practice, we get intimate with ourselves. In the next inhale, very slowly start lifting the chest. Taking your time. And you can lie down into your belly this time. So take your time, sending the legs back. Our next position is going to be lying into the belly, so you can go right away into the belly. And this is going to be a rebound, lying into the belly. You can either use your own side, the side of your body, or you can bring one hand over the other. Rest your head over your hips. So feeling the belly resting into the mat. I particularly love to lie my belly and my heart to the earth. So feel your breath. And for the first practice of the series, I would like to work with our whole body. So in the next pose, you can lift the chest and bring in the forearms resting into the mat. I'm just going to explain the next pose. We're going to do a half frog on the mat, also with a twist. So first, I'm gonna demonstrate and then we go together. You can use a booster to support your knee, and you can bring your left knee up. So it's like a half frog pose, sliding into the belly, and we're gonna bring the right arm under the left. Options: you can keep your left arm straight forward, or you can bring the left arm back, or in any position that feels good. Another option is to use a bolster or the block to support your head. So we are feeling the stretch to the outside of the right shoulder and into the inner thighs on the left leg. So Angus, or everyone, I would like you to bring the left shoulder down as much as you can. So you feel the stretch into the outside of the right shoulder. Either your left arm is straight forward or back or to the side, or maybe it's you're resting your forehead into your left arm. So Angus, if you can bring your chest more facing down. Yes, exactly, yes. And commit to stillness. Feeling the opening into the inner thighs and the growing on the left leg, and stretching the outside of the right arm. As we work with the lower body, with the upper body, in this position. So if you are still breathing deeply, or if you are breathing short and shallow, how's your breath? The key is our anchor. Stay into our center. And this is practice. Practice will give us more and more time to be into a relaxation state, into a parasympathetic nervous system. Is practice and commitment to train that ability to be present. We spend longer and longer times cultivating mindfulness. It will be easier to take this practice out of our mat. Whenever we get triggered, challenged in real life, we can use the breath, we can breathe deeply, and maybe see things in a new way, in a different way. Last minute, we're not going to stay here too long. So I know it can be quite challenging. The arms, the hands, the shoulders, an extension of the heart. Working with the heart. Working also stimulating the lungs. Sometimes I'm going to be talking about meridians. Sometimes I'm going to be talking about nadis. It's the same idea, of the energy lines running through the body. Nadis is according to Indian yogis. Meridians are in traditional Chinese medicine, but all is the same. It's just energy lines running through the body. As we stimulate these energy lines, we are affecting the organs and the glands of our body. Good. Then exhale slowly. First release your left hand down into the floor. You can remove the block or move the block away, lifting the chest. And release your right hand, and then release also your left leg down. And release. You can look to the other side. You can roll your hips if you need, side to side, very slowly, very gently. And once you feel ready, we go to the other side. Putting the hands flat on mat first, and use the cushion to support your right knee this time, and the left arm under the right. This side can be totally different. Be gentle. Use the block to support your forehead, and try to keep both shoulders more or less into the same line, but try not to keep the right shoulder looking up to the ceiling, no more looking down. But you can keep your right arm forward. You can bring your right arm to support your forehead, or you can bring your right arm back. The main target area is the outside of the left shoulder this time, and the inside of the inner thighs and groins on the right leg. Perfect. So noticing how this side might be totally different than the other. Noticing your breath. I'm going to keep bringing you back into the breath. The mind can be quite challenging to be present. The mind tends to wander, and this is okay, as we are not trying to have an empty mind. What we are trying, or what we are doing, is to be mindful of those thoughts and come and go, without getting stuck into the history, but actually watch them, how they come, how they go. And if at any time you feel that, or you see that you are wandering in your mind, come back to your breath. Long, deep, full breath. Stress is not what happened to us. It is our response to what happens. And response is something that we can choose. Another quote from Buddha. So when we are in a reactive mode, we lose that choice, how we are approaching the situation. How we respond to circumstances, to situations, to people. And as I mentioned before, the yin practice can help us to watch our reactions, our tendencies. Maybe finding a new way to work with that. In the next inhale, slowly release your right hand into the mat, lift the chest, and release your left arm, and release your right leg also. So you can be lying down still into the belly, or you can roll around and lie down on your back and do your rebound in your back, whatever you feel more comfortable. So in this practice, there's no right or wrong, good or bad. It's a matter of what it feels good for me in this moment, and listen to that. As we get more experience to listening to our bodies, it becomes easier and easier and easier to trust our bodies, trust where our bodies tell us, instead of the mind, which is very useful, but we can also trust our bodies, we can also listen to that, and the more we trust, the louder it speaks, and the easier it becomes. If you are lying down into the belly, turn around and lie down into your back, taking your time. No rush. Good. And if you have a block, we are gonna use the block for a supported bridge. If you don't have a block, you can use the bolsters. Maybe you can fold the bolster or use the bolster under your sacrum. We are gonna do supported bridge. This is not high enough. Bring another cushion and bring it under your sacrum. Not so much into your low back, more into the sacrum. And if you have a block, the block has 3 different heights. Bring the block under your sacrum. Again, no into your low back, but more into the sacrum. And here you can keep your feet flat on the mat. Another option is to walk the feet forward. Walking the feet forward is a little more intense. Another option is to keep the hands side to side of the block where the hips were, or to send the arms above the head. Arms can be extended, or you can bend the arms and resting one hand over the other. You can close your eyes. Supported bridge. Yeah, if it's too much to use the block, maybe you can cover the block with a towel, with a blanket. But find that first resistance and close your eyes. I love this pose. And I can feel a lot of release during this pose. And sometimes there's a lot of tension on the hips, on the pelvis, on the sacrum, on the sitting bone. So if you're familiar with the chakras, here we are working with the first and second chakra. Mula, Dara, and Swadhisthana chakra. Feel into your belly. Long, deeper breath. How deep you can relax, letting go. Becomes easier and easier to get inside the body and to feel from the inside out, to feel those areas of tension. Keep bringing your attention into your belly. So here we are working with the stomach meridian. Running through the hip flexors, through the top of the thighs, and through the stomach line, the belly. Very good for digestion. And on the exhale, release your arms down, flat on the mat. Walking the feet back if your legs are extended. And very slowly lifting the hips a little bit higher, just enough so you can remove the cushions and the blocks out of the way. And you can bring the knees to the chest, roll side to side, and release the legs all the way down. Just getting a little movement and counter pose. Notice the effects of the previous pose. Noticing how it feels. Does to put a bridge in your body. Good. Bringing the knees into the chest and hug your knees. Roll side to side very gently. Dropping the legs to the side and slightly coming up. moving into butterfly. Bringing the feet together. And this time we're going to go for a long leg butterfly. This means that instead of bringing the feet close into the groin, we're going to send the feet forward. And you can use the bolster to support your chest, or you can also bring your elbows into the mat, supporting your forehead with your hands. Another option is to use the bolster under your sitting bones. And in this way, your pelvis is tilting forward and you can bend forward a little bit deeper. It's a very nice decompression for the low back. It's a very nice stretch for the inner thighs and the groin. So once you feel ready, commit to stillness. Feeling into your breath. This is a different variation. It's not the classical variation of Baddha Konasana, where the feet are close into the groin, but we are extending the legs forward into long legs butterfly. Committing to stillness, letting go. We round the spine, we feel the space and we create in between vertebrae. We feel the space we create into the lower back. And relax the shoulders, the hands, the upper back, the chest, the collarbones. So each exhalation feels like a letting go sensation. Still breathing deeply, you're still here. Where are you? What's happening inside? 2 more minutes. You can choose to stay here, or if you would like to go deeper, maybe you can remove the bolster. Getting into the third or the second edge. So noticing how the edges change, how the body changes with time. as we work with the deeper tissue of the body, the fascia, that takes longer to open up. It's more plastic than the muscle, more elastic, takes longer. This is one of the reasons why we hold poses for a while. We are triggering the yin tissue. The fascia is surrounding our whole body. It's connecting everything with everything else, bones, ligaments, muscles. It's also connecting our organs. It moves into our cellular level. The fascia is everywhere. Once you feel ready, you can slightly lift the chest and walk the hands back. Take your time, no rush. Remove the block, remove the cushion. Bring your hands under your knees, if you need, and bring the knees together and lie down on your back. And take a moment to rest on the mat. Long deep breath, feeling the effects of the previous pose into your body. Observing what happens on the release. And in the next inhale, bring the knees into the chest. Hug your knees. Roll side to side very gently. Massaging the spine. And we are going to move into spinal twist. Opening the arms in a T position. And you can bring the right leg over the left leg. You can support your legs with the cushion if you need, so they're more comfortable for the knees, or you can go all the way down. And so keeping the arms extended, or you can bring the arms into a cactus pose. Another option is to bring the left hand over your right thigh. Look over your right shoulder. Just closing the eyes. Take a long, deep, full breath. we bring stillness into our bodies. Notice what does it mean to create space in our bodies. We are taking this pause to feel into our bodies, to give those areas full attention of love that they need and they deserve. Here in the twist, we're working with the spine, decompressing the low back, and compressing the belly. Can you still breathe deeply? Can you still ground deeper and deeper into your body and use the breath as an anchor? Noticing how the sensations keep changing. All of a sudden you take a longer breath, or all of a sudden you feel a warm sensation, and all of a sudden there is a thought or an emotion coming up. These are all the effects of the practice, the effects of being in the pose for a long time. We are releasing tension, we are moving energy through the body, we are blocking the body. And in the next inhale, bring the knees back to the center, feet flat on the mat, and just separate the feet and the same width of the mat, maybe even wider, and just rest your knees together. Take a moment here where your spine is in a neutral position, taking a short rebound before we go on the other side. And the left knee, left leg over the right, and switching the cushion. If you are using the cushion on the other side, then you can use this side as well. I'm not, you decide. Looking to the right hand or over the right, left shoulder, sorry. And you can also use your right hand to rest over your left side. Detoxifying all the internal organs with a twist. Opening the chest, creating space into your upper body as well. How deep you can relax into this moment. You can relax a little bit deeper, softening the face, softening the eyes, softening the jaw, lips. The tongue is relaxed, softening the throat, softening the chest, the collarbone, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, and the fingers. Softening the rib cage, the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back is relaxed. Belly. Even if we are twisting here, can you still relax your belly? Your hips, your pelvis, your tailbone, your legs, your feet. See, scan the body. You can notice any areas of tension. Also, body scans are really good to become more in tune with yourself. In the next inhale, bring the neck back to the center. Release your feet flat on the mat and lift the chest. Hug your knees. So come to pose, roll side to side gently. Preparing for the final relaxation, Savasana. Release your legs, release your arms. You can support the back of the legs with bolsters. So you allow this time for integration. You allow this time to let go, to surrender. Feel the body weight sinking you deeper and deeper and deeper into the ground, into the earth. And see how it feels when you do that. Taking this time to integrate, taking this time to rest, taking this time to let go completely. Taking this time to enjoy the Savasana. Slowly start coming back to your body. Move your toes, move your fingers. Feeling your breath. And once you feel ready, roll into a side of this position. Stay here for a moment, keeping your eyes closed. And coming up into sitting meditation pose. We're going to dedicate the last minutes of the practice to feel back, to notice what is happening inside in this moment, to notice the effects of the practice into your system. Noticing how this practice can bring up different qualities that are more active in Yang practice. Notice the difference physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically. How do you feel right now? Yin, or meditative practice, cultivating mindfulness, presence within ourselves. Last minute here. Notice how even the breath might be different. Maybe a little more calm than the beginning. Maybe a little bit deeper than the beginning of the practice. This is our true nature, stay in a relaxed, calm, and peaceful state. We keep coming back into our mat and taking time for ourselves to come back into our bodies, into our hearts. It becomes easier and easier and easier to be in this state of relaxation, or how they call it in Buddhism, or Buddha nature. Placing the hands together in front of the heart in the prayer position. Taking this opportunity to be grateful, to say thank you to yourself, to your body, for giving you the opportunity to move in all these different ways and to be healthy, to be strong, to commit to this practice, to do the work, to show up for yourself, to be present for yourself. Say thank you yourself for that. Also appreciating the people that is in your life and you love and they love you, and the friends, the situation that we have, as we want to elevate that vibration, we want to resonate in a higher frequency. We want to keep coming back into our heart, and gratitude is a way, is a practice. When we bring this practice of gratitude into our life, things start changing. Closing the practice, chanting one unifying Om. You can join me if you like. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Thank you, everyone. Namaste. Thank you, thank you, thank you.